Welcome back to the musings of an old maverick. Welcome back to the archives of my life. But let me tell you, this particular vlog that I've shot for you, oh my gosh, it is based on an incident that happened very recently, and it transported me back several decades ago when I was just about 8 years old. A similar incident, and guess what it was? Last weekend, I decided that I wanted to have some North Indian Punjabi food. And so my wife and I decided that we'd walk out to the closest restaurant, Punjabi Adda as it's called, and I said we'll go and have some nice butter chicken with some nice rotis along with it. And guess what happened? The moment I took my first bite into a chicken leg, crack, and this would happen. Now, you can imagine how upset I got with myself because I was telling myself, ye gods, I have a few vlogs to shoot tomorrow. I've got a power pack to shoot. I've got some major people as my guests in my next Impact show. And this is not how I can look now. What do I do? And it was pure desperation. Not enough time to go across to dentist and get a refill. It doesn't happen so fast in any case. What do I do? So I went back to bed and I didn't sleep the whole night, kept getting upset with myself, got in the morning feeling like what the cat bought last night from somebody else's garbage can, and slipped out of my sneakers and just ran into the sun. And guess what happened? I started thinking about a particular incident that happened when I was just 8 years old. And when that happened, the same situation I went through and what my mom actually taught me about being imperfect. So let me now tell you all about it. So here's the thing. I was just 8 years old and I was in school minding my own business when all of a sudden my games teacher picked me up, threw me into a boxing rink and said, start practicing how to box. Now, for me, this was like a sudden surprise, a jolt out of the blue. What do you mean, start boxing? And he says, no, you have the right height and you seem to have a good build, you should be able to do a good job. Start it. So he called another boy on board and said, start boxing with each other. I had no idea what boxing was all about. I had seen what boxing was outside a rink, never in the damn rink. And this guy comes up to me like this, and suddenly he gives me one solid knock on my nose. 3 things happen. I get knocked out, flat, unconscious. Number 2, the wind in my lungs went poof. I have no idea what happened after that. And the third thing, when I came to, my mouth was bleeding and I'd lost one tooth. The same tooth. And guess what? I went livid. I was just a week away from Christmas. I was part of the Christmas choir. I had to stand on stage and sing. And how do you sing with a tooth missing? I mean, give me a break. I was a young guy, right? And geez, what do I do? How do I grow a tooth so fast? That was my first ever thought when I was just 8 years old. So I went back home, I kicked up a shindig, I told my mom, this was not on, you gotta complain to the principal, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, get me out of the choir team, I can't possibly sing, not like this, what will the audience think? Look at me. And I went on complaining, and then guess what my mom did? She sat me down. And she says, you know, son, don't be perfect in life. Being imperfect is amazingly okay. And she gave me 6 beautiful sledgehammering advices on what perfection really is all about. Rather, what imperfection is really all about. Number 1, perfectionism is absolutely unrealistic. It doesn't exist. This old idiom that says practice makes perfection should be completely removed from all the books on planet Earth. You know why? Because practice is improvement. You're always improving. You're never trying to get into perfection. So when you talk about perfection, it's better to be imperfect. Because as long as you're imperfect, you will always be inspired and motivated to keep practicing, to keep improving, till you come to a point where, well, you're better than who you were yesterday, and more importantly, you're better than most of everybody else. Number 2, imperfection breeds creativity. See, the more we work towards limitations and beyond it, the more we look at our mistakes and see how we can actually better them, we get more and more innovative. And that's something that I have experienced my entire life, both in my personal life and in my professional life, 4 decades in the corporate world. Right? I can honestly tell you that every time I worked on something which still wasn't what I had in my mind, I would get so innovative to actually achieve the end result. So imperfections will always breed creativity. Perfections would never do that. Number 3, and this is a beautiful one, imperfection makes us relatable. You know, I've always carried my imperfections on my sleeves. I've always done it without any shame whatsoever, because I am human and therefore I am imperfect. And when I walk the streets with my imperfection showing, let me tell you, I feel people swarm towards me, just like bees to nectar. Why? Because I am so relatable. Because everyone knows that they are imperfect in very many ways, and that's being very human. Wouldn't you feel uncomfortable if you had to actually meet up people, especially narcissists who believe that they are the embodiment of perfection? Would you actually be comfortable? No, you wouldn't be. You wouldn't be comfortable at all. You'd be very comfortable with people like me who hope to tell you, hey, listen, dude, I am as imperfect as you. So imperfection makes you very relatable. The 4th one, imperfection leads to growth. Mistakes can always be viewed as an opportunity to grow. How? Because whenever we make a mistake, we tend to start researching on it, trying to understand what made me make that mistake. What is it that I did which didn't work out the way it should have? And as we research on this, we educate ourselves on how to do this particular task better. And as we keep bettering the task, we better ourselves. As we keep working on the task, we keep working on ourselves. Consciously, subconsciously. Consciously, subconsciously. And what's the end result? The end result is that we actually grow well as professionals and also with all our relationships in our personal lives. Number 5, perfectionism can actually hinder progress. And you know why that is? Because when we try to be perfect, then we go into a lot of self-doubt. We start procrastinating. We don't know whether we're doing the right thing or wrong thing because it has to be so damn right that we remain so stressed and confused, not knowing what is the right step that we can take. But if we look at things and understand that there will be a certain element of imperfection in whatever I do, then your mind becomes free, because it doesn't need now to chase a very perfect model or very perfect target or very perfect concept, because there are no perfect targets, concepts and models. So the most exciting thing about being imperfect is it gives you that freedom to work without any inhibitions, without any limitations, without any fears. And the final 6th one, and let me tell you, this is the most wondrous advice an 8-year-old boy can ever get from his mom. She said, imperfection is so beautiful. If all of us could selflessly accept each other's imperfections, what a happy, peaceful and wondrous life we'd be living. Isn't that true? we would be able to love, laugh, and live life absolutely king size, because we would be accepting each other's imperfections the way it was meant to be. And on this very note, let me read you one of my favorite poems by Melody Lee. And this one is really bang on target. She says, "Where you see scars, I see art. Where you see flaws, I see incredible beauty. Where you see failures, I see knowledge and growth. Everything is perception. You see with your eyes, and I see with my soul. That's the way you rock, and this is the way I roll." This is Anand Nair, signing off for now. I hope you enjoyed this vlog of mine, and till we meet again, ciao for now, and you take care.